get one thing clear right now, shall we? There is no idea dump, no central story, no island of buried bestsellers, which is to say that stories almost come from just out there, right? And your job is to what? Find them?
I don't think that you find them exactly. I think that what you do is you keep your sensors open. And it's the more that you do the job, the more you come to understand in a kind of intuitive way that you're always, your radar is on and the thing is going around and around and around and it's not picking up any blips. And then something will happen and it will click and you'll say, this is an idea for a story. And for me, I'm usually working on something, so that's kind of got to go to the end of the line. And the best thing about that is that the bad ideas kind of just drop out of the mix. You forget about them. The good ones stick around.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you release books differently now than you used to? In that, like, do you have a different definition of what a successful book is, or on the eve of a book's release, do you pay a special kind of attention to how it will be received or how it's being reviewed?
I think that if you spend too much time worrying about what the audience is going to like, that they're not going to like anything that you do. I just look for ideas that I really enjoy, something that I really want to live with for a while, like the story about the people under the dome. Mm-hmm. And I get into it most of the time, and then I just have a ball. I never finished a book and felt like I'm glad that's done. I usually finish a book and say, geez, I don't want to say goodbye to these people. Mm-hmm. And if the people who read it feel the same way, then I'm really happy.
Mm-hmm. So does that mean that writing can be taught, can be learned?
It can be learned, but I'm not sure it can be taught. It's a self-taught kind of thing. I think the best writers are voracious readers who pick up the cadences and the feel of narration through a number of different books, and you begin by maybe copying the style of writers that really knocked you out. Mm-hmm. As a teenager, I read a lot of H.P. Lovecraft, so I wrote like H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah. And in my 20s, I read a lot of Ross MacDonald and Raymond Chandler, so I wrote like those guys. But little by little, you develop your own style.
All right. How the fuck do you write so many books so fast? I think, I've had a really good 6 months. I've written 3 chapters, and you've finished 3 books in that time.
Here's the thing, okay? There are books and there are books. The way that I work, I try to get out there and I try to get 6 pages a day. So with a book like End of Watch, and when I'm working, I work every day. 3-4 hours, and I try to get those 6 pages and I try to get them fairly clean. So if the manuscript is, let's say, 360 pages long, that's basically 2 months' work. It's concentrated, but but that's assuming that it goes well.
And you do hit 6 pages a day?
I usually do.
You don't ever have a day where you sit down there and it's like constipation and you write a sentence and you hate the sentence and
okay.
You check your email and you wonder if you had any talent after all, and maybe you should have been a plumber. Don't you have days like that?
No, there's real life. I can be working away and something comes up, and you have to basically get up and you have to go to see the doctor, or you have to take somebody care package, or you have to go to the post office, because whatever. But mostly I try to get the 6 pages in.
Look, a lot of these interviews, the question that's the worst is people will say, where do you get your ideas? I don't know where I get them. And if I did, man, would I tell you? Jesus, they've been good to me. All I know is that I sit down and I turn on the machine, and there's always that first 10 minutes that's like smelling a dead fish or walking into a monkey house. And then something will click a little tiny bit, and that leads to something else. And it's like choo, 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 choo. until it's going faster and faster. And then you hit this kind of escape velocity. You're gone. The world, the normal, mundane, sort of stupid world where you got to do the breakfast dishes and you got to make the beds, you know, and you got to worry about getting the kid to the dentist. All that's gone. But there's a place where you have to walk away from it because it's so kind of addictive. That otherwise you might just sit there and skip meals and just be lost in that world. And you wouldn't want to do that because that's sort of the way crazy people are in institutions. You know what I'm saying?